Hello folks, welcome to another daily Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. We will, first of all, talk a little bit about some, in my opinion, wrong narratives, once again spreaded by a lot of maxi boys indicating that some extremely bullish things are going to happen in Germany mainly, related to Bitcoin. It's my hood, I would say, because even what they are mentioning in the article, I know this banking provider very well. I worked in different projects with them, so I know very well about everything what they are doing, and I also know the conditions. I also know if that's just once again a FOMO narratives like spot ETFs and 100k. You remember 2021? How many times we did have a spot ETF announcement, and how many times they connected it to 100k until end of the year. At the end, nothing happened. You remember that? Well, as you can see, finally, it was, I'm absolutely not good in TA, and usually I wouldn't care that much, but when I'm using that just for trend lines and then you see a fucking diamond formation and you say, what? But however, even if you make such a tweet, you will always find a smart ass out there who is saying, it's wrong. It's so fantastic. I love that. However, we will see how far they want to bring it. I don't think they're going just to make us all a big favor. However, just to make a little teaser, I just also noticed that longs came up big after they noticed we were not dumping, and then we will see later on Binance more longs went up and shorts reduced a little bit. So but however, I would be extremely careful here. I'm not trading, as mentioned. It was a very solid and nice opportunity to make some money, but I don't care that much. However, we will talk first of all about the initial comment. Let us talk about what they were just describing as the next moon is going to happen. I need to translate this in English. So there we have crypto in Germany. These banks will soon offer Bitcoin. Bitcoin adoption in Germany thanks to DWP Bank. It's a banking provider for many banks in Germany. And they provide every kind of different financial products. So even stock market connections and so on and so forth to other companies. 1,200 German banks and saving banks will soon be able to offer BTC and Co. So the article is absolutely fine, because that's what they are saying, will be able to. That's one part. They are explaining a little bit what they are doing, since when, and so on and so forth. But as mentioned, also in 2021, also here, please make your research, check my old tweets, because even in 2021 we had an even much bullish case related to crypto in general. That was when the lawyer in Germany just have brought a new law that let institutionals almost use 25% of their whole portfolio buying crypto. I mean, that's extremely bullish. That's much more bullish than this here. It was a $400 billion case. That was in 2021. What happened? I don't hear anything. Exactly, nothing. Nothing. And I know why. It's always the same. It's always the same. All these beautiful, extremely bullish cases are failing because of one only thing: regulation. So now let us go forward, because of course I had to react here. Patrick Hansen just shared this tweet: great news for BTC adoption and access in Germany through its new VP Next platform. The DWP Bank will allow up to 1,200 German banks to open Bitcoin trading. Well, nobody said about trading, it's just a wallet, but yeah, obviously, okay. However, and soon more crypto assets. The crypto holdings will be integrated into the customer's online banking securities account. That's great. I love that, because they are just making everything to prepare the global regulation body. So banks are bullish on crypto. I told you. They are not bullish on the assets itself, but on the infrastructure. Just as with securities, the current fiat account at the bank can also be used for clearing, so no pre-funding is necessary. Accordingly, nice to have if you know they are going to launch the CBDC, right? Accordingly, bank customers no longer have to through an additional verification when opening their BTC crypto account. Now you can mention what Citadel is going to make with Fidelity. Oh, do you miss that they have now an own centralized exchanges together? Then you can just think 1-2 steps forward, because that's going to happen. And that's why Binance, Gemini, they don't need all these centralized exchanges. The banks are going to offer you directly over banks providers, Fidelity or whatever, assets, and they will get fees for that. They know that's a big use case, but also business case. Further crypto assets and tokenized securities will be added in the future. Accessing and trading Bitcoin and crypto assets can get much easier than that for people that don't want to self-custody. I'm absolutely agree with what he is saying. It's absolutely, that's part of the mass adoption. And I have said the mass adoption will not start with 3 guys who are saying, hey, or because of Binance, because of FTX, or even because of Tether. They are not part of the mass adoption, and they will not, in my opinion, survive their regulation. However, old story. Why old story? Because that's not new. That's absolutely not new. And as just mentioned before, even the German law, the courts launched a law that allows just institutionals, hedge funds, private equity companies, and so on and so forth, to use 25% of their portfolio with crypto assets. And they are not doing it. And I know why. Because they said, it's fine that I can have these assets in Germany. But globally, the whole regulation framework is extremely foggy. We don't know what, it's just we need to, or in other words, it's involved with huge spendings to manage everything. And that's why these companies need a regulation, a global regulation framework like the Hong Kong watchdogs also mentioned. Only then we will receive mass adoption. Only then. But regulation framework on a global level takes time, and it's extremely painful for all these Wild West companies we have involved to crypto right now. Tether, Binance, and so on and so forth. What happened? After Binance stopped their zero fees promotion related to spot. If you check the volume now compared to last week, you can see that. I have said 70% was wash trading. I think 90% was wash trading. That couldn't happen in a full regulated environment. Forget that Tether could say, I'm not going to make any audit because it's not required. Then it will be required. Otherwise, they are going to close your doors and kick your ass. And that's what's going to happen to Tether, because I don't know who these guys are going to hide everything they did in the last years. Because of course regulators then will have access and they will take a look what they did in the past. So it's going to be extremely interesting. However, I know the DVP bank very good, as they are provider services for banks, a lot of them. But their biggest customer is the German Sparkasse. The German Sparkasse is the biggest union or the biggest association of saving banks. It's part of the federal banks. In Germany, we have different federal banks. In Germany, for example, the Bank of Bavaria, the Bank of Berlin, that's the Landesbank Berlin. We have different banks, and they are connected to the saving banks. It's the biggest customer. Now, if you check the website of the Sparkassenverbund, so the association of Sparkassen, they say, of course, I have already the translation here. The Sparkassenfinanzgruppe warns its customers against investing, not buying, investing in Bitcoin. That is why we are not appealing offers from the saving banks and their partners, and they have a lot of partners. The reason is incalculable risks that cryptocurrencies entail. Nevertheless, the Sparkassenfinanzgruppe is working on wallet solutions for crypto assets, for example, for tokenized shares or real estate. That's it. That's it. Don't try to find anything here that tells you to the moon tomorrow, because that's fucking it. It's so simple. And when I say I'm long-term extremely bullish, I mean those who know me, those who know how bearish I am on crypto in the short and midterm. How many times I said I'm extremely bullish on crypto in the long term because it's part of a political agenda. And everything what's happening at the moment, I have mentioned why it would make sense to let collapse the whole financial sector, to create a reset. Because everything is so complex that just to migrate all systems to a different infrastructure, I mean, we are talking about crypto, and just to shift everything will take decades. Like, you remember the transition when the first PCs arrived in the offices? How much time? Wow, I remember how many people just were sitting in front of the screen and said, what can I do with this machine? That's the thing. But this time we don't have the time anymore. It's not just to say, well, it's going to be the next migration project like Commerzbank, Deutsche Bank or Postbank. We know what was the outcome at the end. So we don't have the time anymore. I have mentioned that the whole financial sector is overheated. They changed their business plan because of the monetary policy of the last decades, because, The whole environment changed then. It was free money, everything was extremely happy, but that works until a certain level. And then they only did it because otherwise the problem we have right now, we had this problem just a decade before. Different, absolutely different, and other things would be the trigger instead, for example 2008, but it was part of it. Everything is part of it, and it makes absolutely sense to let call up something that, in your opinion, it's, just old school, it's not going to represent the future anymore. And people who has their bank as an app on their mobile phone, they talk how innovative their bank is. That's stupid. That's absolutely stupid, because nothing have changed. The systems behind are exactly the same that the Deutsche Bank has in behind, or maybe even your home bank. So to make a big revolution in the whole financial sector, it is absolutely crucial to start from you. And in that case, to use crypto. Because also another thing is that banks don't like to spend their money in regulation, of course not, but they need to, but not in IT. Nobody is forcing them to say, hey, you need to invest money in IT. They don't need to, so they are not doing it. Instead, they are looking for standards. And I have mentioned so many times in 2021, I have even published what kind of crypto projects would be useful. For example, if you check, ANKR, for example, Seller, Atom, you have so many really useful altcoins. So useful, we are not talking today about the tokens itself. We are talking about the infrastructure and their use cases. And they will change the whole financial sector. That's why they are investing, like S&P, for example. They are also now just realizing a huge project for custodian wallets for their customers. So everything is indicating crypto is going to be the next standard. Of course, we will find also norms. So really standards on technology level, standards for regulations, standards, because that's the future. If you want to be the next Elon Musk today and the next 10 years, start to program standards. Standards with a big acceptance in the banking sector. And they are going to buy you every single day a golden Lamborghini for that. But that's actually the future. So, I know that many of you are looking for short-term opportunities. And we had them in 2021 and 2022 and 2020. That's of course my personal opinion, is we had our trades. Now it's time to calm down. The price will go down. You will see that we will receive a lot of food. And no one will buy, because everything will be related to fear, to whatever. We are not there yet. It will take a little bit. Then some companies, much more like FTX, will disappear. Then you will see that more and more nations will start to launch their regulation frameworks in a global standard level. And in this transition, it's the time to buy. Because afterwards, in the next 20, 30 years, will happen exactly what happens to the stock markets, when after the crash, when nobody wanted to buy and some just really brave investors decided, come on, I go, maybe not all in, but I'm going to use my money to buy here and we will see what happens. 20 years later, they were rich. All these guys who bought Apple stocks, Microsoft stocks, Google stocks, what happened with 1998? Nothing. All these technology companies survived because they were part of a revolution. It were part of a development. And crypto is part of it. It's another one. But I always have to remind what Mr. Bird, the former co-founder of HBAR, said. Such industries like the crypto starts to spread like hell. They are founding companies and projects, and you will have thousands of them, and that's what we have. You will have thousands of them, and many of it's just copy paste, change the logo, and we are better than these guys. But actually we are exactly the same. We just use a word that Alan tweeted 3 weeks ago. In 2 years nobody will care about that. They are just short-term or mid-term projects. They will not survive any kind of regulation, transition, and so on. So what he said is, when this industry is, have a lot of different projects, usually then you will have a crash. A lot will disappear, and the strongest will survive. And the strongest, it's not necessarily now to check the market cap and to say, oh, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on, they are the biggest, so they will survive. Yeah, I think they will survive. I'm not sure if Bitcoin will maintain as it is today, but I'm absolutely sure that Bitcoin, or at least an asset like Bitcoin, will survive, will continue. But the use and business case will show you if a project is strong or it's not. When it's strong, it will survive. And in 10, 20 years, you will not pay what they want for one token. It's just what I can say, because, I'm reading so much stuff every day. And I see that clear that this is part of a political agenda. It is part of a whole infrastructure they want to construct. And yes, partially, of course, also because they want to control more and so on and so forth. They can do it with crypto. If you like it or not, it doesn't matter. But it's going to be the future. No one will change that, because we can talk about geopolitical conflicts. We can talk that China is bad, the Western is nice, Russia, ooh, they evil. But I mark my words, every single nation on the world has the same interest. When it comes to control their citizens, every single country, every single government has the same interest. Exactly, to do it. And don't come with, but it's not the case in El Salvador because of Bitcoin. Bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. Okay? So, we will see how much it takes to regulate the whole market. But I think it's not going to happen in 3 months or 4 months. However, we will keep tracking the whole development. And our goal should be not to leave crypto when infrastructures start to buy our bags. Our goal has to be smart enough to jump in, to buy when nobody wants, and then to chill. Just to chill. Nothing else. I mean, crypto is pure technology. Means we will receive more modern technologies in the future. Crypto will also develop. AI is spreading at the moment. Everyone is talking about artificial intelligence. More technologies will arrive and it will be connected to crypto. It's going to be a much more dynamic market than stock was, because technology is very dynamic. Everyone that is involved in technology in its business, you are buying today a computer that even if you paid $6,000 to the PC, in 6 months it's old. And you need to pay another $6,000 to have the most updated gaming PC at home, for example. But yeah, that's it. That's part of it. Dynamic means money. Dynamic means, you can sell, buy every time. Volatility, it's also part of it. Many governments just said Bitcoin and crypto in general is bad because of its high volatility, but that's exactly what banks want to have. Volatility, more opportunities, less time, more gain. That's it. That's the whole secret. We don't need any kind of, formal news. Keep calm, track it, have it in mind, but don't be trapped because of it. Okay? So let us go forward. So let us take a look what the weights ratio is indicating. Where's my Wonder pencil? Epic, where are you? Here. No download. Okay, so if we take a look, we can see that twice, once again, we had a pump in the weights ratio one day, like making a double top formation. And that's why, of course, the weights ratio 30 days moving average is once again bouncing here. Now we need to see what's going to happen next. If we are going to go more up, indicating they are sending again more bitcoins to centralized exchanges, or if it's going to start to decline. However, usually this kind of weights ratio pump also indicates we are close to have such kind of move. It was declining here, the price went up. Now it started, for example, here to push, and you can see that red candles started to be bigger with a higher daily volatility. So we need to see what's going to happen next. Maybe the weights ratio 1 hour time frame, because it's giving us a better overview about the short-term price indication, could tell us. Well, first of all, we see that they were here, for example, maintaining almost 95%, while at the same time reducing here a little bit to the downside. So we can see they were distributing at the same time. We can say it started here to decline a little bit, so indicating, now let the price go up once again. So we went from 26.5 now back almost to 27, almost $500 up. If we check here, we can see that more bitcoins came in. For example, here nothing big, at least on CryptoQuant, nothing big. We received some more stable coins while the weights ratio 30 hours moving average is declining. So 85, that's nothing big, absolutely nothing big. And it's going to be very interesting to see if they are going to push, like for example they did here, almost to 90, because everything above of 90 usually is extremely bearish. So I don't think that we are going just to have a flash crash or something. It will take time because it's part of a distribution as well. You know, a little bit more up, more down, even more down, then a little bit bounce, more down, and so on and so forth. Also to liquidate all these shorters with high leverage. So we are done here. Let us go forward. So also here, if we take a look, for example, let me check, where's the zero here? It's almost here. Okay. If we take a look, we have received just in the last 2 hours 1,600 bitcoins. That's absolutely nothing. While we received 57 millions, also peanuts, also nothing big, to be honest. But we need to see how far they want to push down. Also here, that stablecoin, if we check stablecoin net flow, receiving, but nothing big, absolutely nothing big. Also sentiment is not indicating anything huge at the moment. So let us go forward. So as you can see, very red. I mean, the weekly almost, you know, 661 bitcoins. That's, I mean, today is Monday, it's the new week, means that's why the daily and the weekly is exactly the same. In the last 4 hours we received 481 bitcoins to centralized exchanges, more than they just, you know, took off from the exchanges. The monthly for whole March, it's extremely red with almost 60,000 bitcoins. And the last 30 days, it's still 52,800. So indicating they were, you know, they were just preparing, and the next move should be go down. If you are asking now, how far is that big enough? Well, the thing is, we don't have any wash trading anymore. Now it's going to become more transparent for us, because the thing is, with wash trading, sometimes we had 10,000 bitcoins whole volume in 1 hour candle on Binance, and now we have maybe 1,000, 1,500, sometimes if it's big 2,000 bitcoins. So if we take a look that we received almost 60,000 bitcoins, you can imagine that they can nuke this market if they want. But we also know that Binance, they are going to use their recovery fund, and we also know that Tether, I guess it's well prepared as well to absorb as much as they can. The question is, are these guys going to look for the next dip, or are these guys just to look to bring a big crash? In my opinion, even we have such a low volume now, in my opinion, 60,000 bitcoins, it's not enough to nuke the market. Maybe to go down back to $20,000, and then we need to see if we are receiving more. If we are receiving more, that would match with potentially not only a correction, but indicating we will go down much more and harder. But at the moment doesn't look like. So I would expect to see, of course, as a trend, you know, like they did just before, go down, push up a little bit more, then more down, and I can imagine to make this once again to see a price between 20 and 22k, and then we need to see means I don't know if they are going to push more down, or if they want then to go up to 30k before they really crash the market, for example. Now some people, and that's the problem that we have in this community, you know, we are, I remember when we were here, they were selling, well, 22, 23k. Now we are here and they are talking about 50k. It's almost, and in case we would reach 50k, next would be obviously 100k. It's so amazing, this community, far away from any realism in my opinion. However, we have, I mean, 60k is what we received, but of course we have, since end of the year, we were accumulating bitcoins on centralized exchanges. And you see that it declined, you remember, but now it's back to the same level we had behind. And that means that we have here, from here to here, oh, wrong color, from here to here, 100,000 bitcoins on centralized exchanges. For what? I don't think they are doing vacations. Bitcoin works 24/7, 365 days per year, so it's not part of their vacation, I guess. However, it's just indicating, like you can see here, that obviously they are going to distribute as much as they can. So in my opinion, they are really just looking for the next dip before they can push more up. But it's just my personal opinion. We need to see what's going to happen when we reach the local bottom. In my opinion, at the moment, it's not enough to nuke the market back to 16k. But we will see. So if we take a look here, now we see that the funding rate declined, then it lifted up. Same happened to open interest, pushed down, then up, right now down, because they are of course liquidating. And leverage ratio maintained relatively low, but at the moment we have a, once again, I don't know why, a gap in the data here. However, if we take a look here, we can see that we are receiving 145 millions, another 100 millions here close before they started to dump the market. So I guess they started really to short with this money. At the same time, we can see that they are taking out bitcoins at the moment more than sending. We can check here, for example, the net flow. Even then, looking more red than green, indicating they are taking more stable coins from centralized exchanges, derivative exchanges. And even here, related to Bitcoin and derivative exchanges, it looks more, let me see, more red. Right now a little bit more green, but it's absolutely not big at all. That's the aggregated. Yesterday nothing happened. 418 bitcoins in shorts liquidated, while 160 in longs. Open interest pushing up, leverage ratio pushing up. The trend of the funding rate was declining, so indicating there were the aggregated were just indicating they were demanding more shorts than longs. Well, that's also something that Bitfinex did, because they started to decline their longs positions, and also indicating that usually then, and it was big, that these guys had some insider informations and they knew that they are going to prepare the next dump. So if we take a look to blockchain whispers, let us refresh the site. Wow, look. And that's what I say, it's the problem. Now shorts declining, longs coming back. And I think that's exactly the problem, because now at almost 27k, a little bit lower, we have a trend line there. And obviously it makes sense, also a support area, to expect here a bounce. I would be extremely careful. I'm not trading, so I wouldn't care, but in case I would trade and I would have a short position at 28k, I wouldn't close it. Absolutely not. Of course, nobody knows if these guys here are just expecting a little bounce or something and just, you know, to get some money extra on top. It's also possible. Longs reduced by almost 500 millions. If you remember, last week we had almost 3 billions. And shorts came in, but nothing big. Obviously, absolutely nothing big. So now let us take a look what Binance is showing here, all leverage. And yeah, so the liquidation clusters, 500 million, reduced by 50%. We had almost 1 billion last week, Friday, Thursday, not sure, no, but it was something like. And yeah, it looks like that the masked liquidation clusters are on the long side instead of the short side. Usually that would indicate, in my opinion, that we have here less positions with more volume, and here much positions with less volume, would indicate retailers here, whales here. If we go to the high leverage, wow, okay. What is here? So a lot of high leverage positions to 27.6. Yeah, why not? Could happen. To make finally also in the 1 hour time frame a nice retest of the breakout. Even they did it in the 15 minutes, but maybe would be possible. No high leverage longs positions. Also here, I would be careful. I would be absolutely careful. So that's it. Let us go forward. Very strange what I'm seeing here. So first of all, the scale doesn't make sense. I don't know what Levitas is doing, but they are making some changes at the moment, indicating 32k. I don't know. 32k. It's following us since 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, and unfortunately, gamma exposure. I mean, we should be at 100k or something, because we were Friday at 220 or something. So the price declined, but not that much. I think we will go. We are still in upper levels, so we need to concentrate us more on what is happening to the strategies. And well, now, yeah, of course, now everything bearish as usual when the price starts to flip. All these guys are now placing or using also bearish strategies. So we need to see here. We have custom strategy 1,400 lots, beer call spread, beer put spread, and short strangle. I would say, yeah, let us take a look. Beer call spread 3 millions. It's going to be very interesting. So custom strategy. What can we see here? We have 14 positions. Okay, that's great. What will be the biggest here? That should be the biggest here. That's a multi-leg. Oh yeah, four positions in this strategy here. So indicating they sold puts 25.5, calls 35. Instead they both now call 28 or and put 24. Yeah, the expiry is almost the same just before. Also very interesting, to be honest. So we need to see. I just need here to check something. So if I check that 34, my interpretation here, there were too bullish, indicating the price could go below of 25.5, but you know, maintain a range between 25.5 and 35. And now they are just adjusting a little bit their expectation and saying, okay, 28k, it's still possible to go up, but we, you know, shifting a little bit lower. And yeah, we see that here as well. They see, okay, it seems that was one big guy here, for example, they shifted, yeah, they shifted in expiry. They are expecting to see a price above or below. I'm not really, doesn't make any sense here because they both bore, but they are now expecting, okay, March is not going to be that bullish anymore, and they are expecting more bearish more bearish trend at the moment. That would be my interpretation here. Let us go forward and check their bear call spread. 20 positions here, and the bear call spread is a bearish strategy, neutral to bearish. And usually to make the maximum profit, you need a price at or below the strike price of the short call. That's the call with a lower strike. So if we take a look, the lower strike is 30k, 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 30k. So almost here indicating, I mean, they sold and both here. They are mainly indicating here they are now much more expecting that 30k could be the top. That's what they are indicating. Of course, they have much more time because it's until end of the year, but they are expecting just to see something, you know, to go more to the downside. 30k, yeah, to 30k, and then maybe 32, and then go down again. Bear put spread. Their bear put spread. Here's the bear put spread. 16 positions. If we take a look to the bear put spread, it's just a strategy where you can profit from gradual price decline. So nothing that falls very, very sharp. Also here, the maximum profit you can realize if the Bitcoin price is at or below the strike price of the short put. So with a lower strike. Also here, once again, with a lower strike. Let us take a look. If we check here the lower strike, we can see until end of March they are indicating below of 18k, below of 25k, below of 25k, below of 25k, below of 25k. Okay, mainly below of 25k, but if I take a look here, it's nothing big, really, absolutely nothing big. So if we go to the short strangle, oh, we just have few, as mentioned, and a little bit as expected, they are pushing up now back to 27.1, indicating that they, yeah, a little bit as expected, as mentioned, to liquidate those late shorts, and just to liquidate them. Just don't give them the opportunity to take profit. Short strangle. They are not really expecting any kind of volatility, at least nothing big. And they are expecting to see, for example, if we take a look, that would be the biggest here. They are expecting until mid of June to see a price between 26 and 30, 25.5, 31, or 27.31. Yeah. So go a little bit lower, and then, but they have enough time, because even if we go now to 18 and then we go up back over above of 27k, it's fine for them. You know, but usually they are expecting, you know, to maintain a certain range, so maybe to go down to 22, 23, but not that much, like 18k or something. However, sold. So that's it from here. Let us go forward. So if we take a look here, we have started here. I would say the peak that was 28.2, that was yesterday, Sunday. And what happened since then? First of all, Binance CBD indicating minus 74 millions in USDT. BTC USDT, the aggregated 81, so a little bit more than Binance. BUSD, 34 millions, that's huge. And if we take a look here, for example, we see that the aggregated USD minus 50 millions. That's crazy, because if we compare USD with Tether, and then we have Bitcoin collateral minus 342 millions, and last but not least, stablecoin collateral futures minus 1.3 billion. Also, it's really a lot of peanuts. So also indicating that everything is at the moment more. The most wondering thing is what BUSD were doing, and at the same time, if we check, for example, I'm still tracking the wallet that received the 1 billion by Binance. That's a Binance cold hot wallet. That's the Binance 14. And you remember that was last week, in the beginning of last week or something, 1 billion. Now we have 575 million. So indicating that Binance is buying already with BUSD. And it's really interesting that at the same time, for example, BUSD is declining since March 25th. Sorry. Whatever. Really interesting. Aggregated CBD also indicating here from 136 to right now almost 100 millions down. Also here the futures, and as mentioned, BUSD since March 25th reducing, while the price even pushing more up, indicating that Binance was doing its business, it seems. Bitfinex reducing, so they used also the opportunity from here to reduce while they pushed up once, and that was driven by Bitfinex. The same to Bybit. Only Coinbase was purchasing and right now selling, and the same Bitstamp, Coinbase, Kraken doing the opposite, even Gemini doing the opposite of Bitfinex and Binance. Very interesting. So if we go now to sentiment, on sentiment we can see some flows related to stablecoins. So if we check, for example, today 27th, we will not find anything really bullish. Everything is much more bearish. Just we had, for example, yesterday night at 9 p.m. We received almost 935 millions in stablecoins, but just 50 minutes later, almost 1 billion outflow. So I think that was something like a swap. If we take a look now for today, we would see it's almost blue. Here outflow 150 millions, here outflow 200 million. So someone absolutely taking profit. Then we received here almost 12 million. So that's the aggregated one. And let me here, right now we can see that they sent here 40 millions, another 11 millions, another 10 million. So let us say 40 millions at the moment here, but everything looks much more blue. Only on USDC, for example, they said 50 millions just 8 hours ago. And related to Tether, well, I mean, they sent 9 millions just a few minutes ago. 1 hour ago another 30 millions, but the biggest one was here 30 millions, 35 millions, in here another 20 millions, and that was this morning at 8 a.m. Anything else? Well, here another swap, it seems. 67 millions inflow, 69 outflow, and everything else was just, they 57 here and another 30 millions outflows here, indicating they sold instead. Also here we can see BUSD transaction volume 30 millions. Doesn't make any sense, absolutely any sense. And GUSD, even Gemini here, inflows 340,000, and here another 200,000. I mean, on Gemini you don't need a lot of liquidity to drive their market, right? So nothing big happening here. Then I have here some interesting new indicators. For example, here we can see that 32 whales transactions happened here with more than $1 million in volume, and then here another 35 whale orders, so a little bit more. Also interesting to see where they are buying big, or at least that's just transaction count. Doesn't say they are sending dollars but also receiving, so it's not really clear if they took profit or not. Usually I check here also the aggregated stablecoin chart on sentiment to check. Market maker sent once again 600 bitcoins, relatively active today, but nothing big at all. We are not talking, I mean, the market maker usually loves to use different sources to sell. They love, for example, also to use everything related like OTC and so on and so forth. If we take a look here, for example, we can see that 25th, for example, was extremely bearish, at least on Bitfinex, on Gemini, even on Bitstamp, on OKEx, on Coinbase, and even on Bybit and Huobi, who were showing that their weights were sending more bitcoins to centralized exchanges. And if you take a look, that was a nice preparation, because afterwards we had another bullish candle, daily candle, and afterwards, like today, we started to decline. We need to see how far they will bring us. Then funds started to buy a little bit, so nothing big. We are talking about 2,000 bitcoins. No, not big, but that's what they do, and then they sell even more. Depends on their demand. If we take a look, once again, a lot happening with futures here, so with indicating that they started March 24th just to use more futures than spot. The problem we have now is that while Binance stopped to offer the spot or zero fee spot, now we have a disruption in this chart here. It's up, of course, the volume for spot declined. And it's for me not clear if now the future curve is declining, or just indicating, the trading volume ratio is declining because derivative is going more up, or if spot just declined that much. And that's the problem I can't see at the moment. That's it. I mean, the market is keep doing what it's doing since a while. It's just the activity, it's declining more. We have a level, we reached a level of, if we take a look here, of March 2016. You know, that's when we see now the volume, we compare the volume we had with the zero fees promo with now, and you remember where I said the Swiss newspapers mentioning 70% of the whole crypto volume was wash trading. It was even higher, even more than 70%. The problem is why? Why was it part to attract retailers and to show how healthy the whole market is? Or did they use the wash trading to hide some operations behind? For example, selling. I really don't know. But it would be possible that centralized exchanges use this opportunity to hide some sell operations. Because, of course, if they would start to sell their bitcoins, you can imagine that wouldn't be that bullish, right? Yeah, and that's it. Also here we can see that activity on centralized exchanges is declining since mid of March. OTC lifted up a little bit, but it's declining. OTC is almost dead, so nothing big happening on OTC, to be honest. So that's it from here. So if you take a look here, we can see that they are waiting here around 25 on Coinbase, protecting that area here at 28.1, 28.5. We have 29 here, and so on and so forth. So also here nothing big happening. Bitstamp, wow, on Bitstamp they are protecting the area 26k instead. At the same time, like, hey, don't go much lower, then I need you here to absorb as much as you can. You know, that's a little bit how it looks like. If we go further, well, that's my wonderful diamond, and usually that's what I said on Twitter to one follower. Said, you know, what I would like to see is we had the break, go up, reject it, and then go down. So I would like to see here a failed retest to confirm that this breakout is valid, and then we will go down. And I guess then we will see how some of these orders will disappear, because then it's just spoofing and the whole thing was absolutely well planned. At the same time, you can see from 28 to 29, they have a lot of volume waiting, like from 26 down to 25. So we need to see. I think we will go a little bit more, hitting 27.5, then finally go down, and then I would expect something sharp, but we need to see. Just a diamond pattern, usually it's also nothing where I would say it's absolutely sharp, and at the moment they are liquidated a lot of longs, now liquidated a lot of shorts, and you know, wait. Usually I would expect, you know, to have a breakout to 27, to push up once again to 27.5 and then go down, but instead they push down very hard. They triggered this buy order here and almost 26.5 to then go up to 27.5, and I guess it makes only sense if they are going to trigger a little bit more of, you know, to give you the sentiment of everything is fine, everything, you know, it's absolutely controlled, it's not bearish at all, keep placing longs. So Binance BTC BUSD, also here, for example, 26 at the moment, but also here where the local POC is 28.1, waiting there. Bitfinex, on Bitfinex also clear, they already opened the window to the downside, means they just remove the wall at 25, like they did just before here, for example. So we need to see, but at the moment you can see also that they are just maintaining the price. Now they are pushing, you know, so the price wouldn't decline more. You have a lot of spoofing and algos working there. On OKEX, nothing. Kraken limiting the way up at 28.2, and now they started to react and they placed once again orders between 24.8 and 25. BitMEX, nothing. Bitget Referral with USD, nothing. Now with USDT, nothing. Now Binance BTCB USDT perp, at the moment not really clear, but it looks like they're here limiting 27.4 at the moment. We need to see if that's spoofing or not. They are on Binance doing exactly the same they did here, for example, and just before here, you remember, and then afterwards everything disappeared. And then tell me this market is absolutely fair and not. I mean, even if we go down, it's absolutely because they want the dip or something. Otherwise, you know, it's this market. That's why I'm not trading, because it's just, I prefer to go to casino, because I know I will not make any big money there, but at least I can have my drink. The whole atmosphere it's just different as to be at home like this Korean guy, you know, laying in his sofa and just seeing how, you know, the market drivers are driving the market. It's what they are doing. I don't know. It feels like a little bit unattractive. I like to see a bunch of different interests and fight. Just fight. I want to see some volatility or something and not that crap. But, well, doesn't matter. So, yeah. Also here, nothing to see on Bitfinex. On Kraken, absolutely not sure if they are really here 27,400, if it's spoofing or not, because we would have here 26.3, also such a wall, but doesn't look solid. Also here looks like a little bit more than spoofing than something else. I'm not sure on OKEX. Then Deribit, yeah, also the same, you know. I mean, Deribit now waiting at 25, and that's it. So look, look that here. Oh, that's incredible. That's really incredible. That's I don't know. Just, hey, you won. They something like that happened to Binance as well. Here, look. It's just, you know, it's enough. Now push, bring a lot of orders here so the price can go up more. Absolutely not manipulated. Absolutely not. Just to make it clear, this market is not manipulated. So, yeah, that's absolutely it. We will see how far they want to go. In my opinion, we should see something like 27.5 or something before we go more down. We need to break this trend line at almost 27 first, then hopefully also retest that area before we go more down, and then that's it. So let us go forward. So my expectation here, well, first of all, I can show you here the beautiful of this diamond pattern. That explains what they did just recently, and we have seen why it matches to a diamond pattern is they were really forcing the price to maintain this trend line here to the downside. And usually, you know, what I would expect, that's what they did. So check here, check here, check here. 3 times they failed to go up. Then afterwards they pushed down very hard. Up. I mean, exaggerated. We don't need to talk about that. Once again, in my opinion, it's too exaggerated. That would be enough to push up here, fail the retest, and then go down hitting 25. And then we need to see, usually with such a pattern, usually with 100,000 bitcoins on centralized exchanges waiting, it could be the trigger. It could be the trigger to see such kind of little sell off that let us go to 20k. Why 20k? Because that would be at least a bullish correction. I mean, you remember where I said, yeah, nice, okay, cool. We have our trend line here, almost, you know, we fade, then we pushed up, then maybe it's not 100% perfect, this trend line, but we fade here, then here, we went down, then pushed up very hard, and usually the price should go down here again. And that means we will go hitting 20 to 21, something 20,500. But as I see, it will take a time, so it's not going to happen instantly. If we check here, for example, we have here different levels we need to cross first. And so on and so forth, and they will try to make such kind of things. Like a waterfall. Because they can liquidate in every single range late and shorts at the same time, longs and shorts, sorry. And so liquidate them here, liquidation part 1, 2, 3, and then when people are thinking, yeah, we will go up now at 23, the last big leg to the downside, that is going to be the number 4, and here is the situation where we will see if they want to continue with the bullish price move or not. That's going to be very interesting what's going to happen. Then you can see also here related to the volume that today in the last 17 hours we have 67,000 bitcoins on Binance BTC USDT. And now just to give you for example, this candle here, it was almost a very similar one. Or we had here 222,000 bitcoins in 24 hours. And if we take a look, for example, to this candle here, 477,000. I mean, if we take a look, this one was really the tiny volume candle we had in January, and we had 148,000 bitcoins. At 22.5, not at 28. It's also a big difference. So it's incredible. However, I still think we need to go up a little bit more before we can go down more. I would be careful because, in my opinion, if we don't retest that area and confirm that is a valid breakout, such a diamond pattern And that happens in the past as well. They can push up and maintain, and then finally go down when everyone is saying, okay, that was just a fake. That happens in the past. Even in 2021, when we had our crash in April, May, it was exactly the same. If you check my charts, because in my early days I was a little bit more TA than I'm just since 2 years. That's what they did every time. We dumped a little bit, then we maintained. We had a breakout finally, and then we maintained that level over and over again. And then finally they let the price go down, and I think that's going to happen once again. So I would be careful on both sides. I wouldn't trade high leverage short. As maximum maybe 10, 12 maximum, if possible hedging a little bit, and that's it. And enjoy the ride. Okay, so big love. See you tomorrow. Your Inspo. Bye bye.